Hello guys, good afternoon. Today's Saturday. I'm going to be doing a little bit of back testing with Soft4x software, right? A software that allows you to back test well, a lot. Honestly, a lot. We know, well, I don't know if we all know, but most of us know that TradingView allows us to back test through TradingView's platform, but that allows us to trade around a month and a half if we're using the 1 minute time frame as an example. So we can't really go that far back. And as an example, with this software, we can actually go back, I think, over 9 years if we saw that necessary. But I started a back tested this morning, beginning from, I don't know if I can actually check it, but beginning from basically July 2020 and trying to get all the way up to July 2021 at the very least, right? Trying to do an entire years of backtesting. And I'm in September already. Then I didn't begin in July. Let's suppose I began in September because I have done just a couple of days of backtesting. So it's not that I've done that much. So this is the day that I begun, talking about 4 days from the 14th, and the one that we're currently on is 18, but we'll now pass to 19 because, well, I already did 18. So yeah, just wanted to say that I'm going to be backtesting with ICT strategy. I've explained a bit how I traded specifically in a couple of videos, but of course, if you actually want to learn something about ICT, you should watch his videos, not mine. And yeah, as we're using MetaTrader, timing wise, it's a bit complicated, but I've basically taken the times like this. Midnight is at 4 a.m. London is, well, the London kill zone is from 6 to 9. New York kill zone is from 11 to 14. It's just 3 hours, but I added one more because usually, from what I've been able to experience, is somewhat fine to trade that extra hour. According to ICT, you don't really want to be looking for opportunities after 10, or well, after 10, which in this case will be 14. But I basically have seen price really working out for that rest, for that other hour, which will be from 10 to 11. So yeah, just wanted to mention that before we begin. So as you know, we're going to be looking for price in the midnight open on London kill zone, New York kill zone, and the nearest, well, the session opening, to try and look for opportunities to take advantage of. And what I like doing, let me actually move this here so it doesn't really bother us. What I like doing about it is, not about it, but with this, is go to 4. Sorry, not go to 4, just draw these lines so I know where I'm standing. And because this is exactly what I do on TradingView, and I feel a bit more at ease when I have this on the charts. Sadly, the drawings don't really go to the other time frames, which surely is a shame. I do think there's a way to do it. I just didn't, or wasn't able to find it. So we'll do it like this. So midnight opened. It was trading a bit higher, and it did get above previous yesterday's high, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Oh wait, we're going to delete this because that was the target for yesterday's backtesting. So it went above that, ranged a bit, aggression lower, fair value gap in the 15, mitigated, aggression lower, and now we have this. So the problem with a day like this, when we have so much aggression through, well, London, or basically everything before New York, we don't really tend to have enough or much to really use at New York. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem, but we'll see what we can do. I do have some theoretical solutions for that if we came to weird price action day. But we'll see if we actually do get to do anything like that. So what is it that I do? So I like seeing what happens from 7 to 8:30. All of this will be New York time. So from 7 to 8:30, I want to see what price does, because from those times I tend to see something that tells me what the trend might be, right? So what I mean with that is, in some cases we see a retracement, right? As an example, now that we have had such a aggressive push lower, we could see price retracing, mitigating a 15-minute fair value gap maybe, and then we see aggression lower that generates fair value gaps. And then from 8:30 and ahead, we can see price trading back into those phase one fair value gaps that we can try and sell from, right? As an example, or maybe we can try and buy if we get something enough, if we get enough confidence to buy. So I have the 5-minute chart here, the 15 here, and the 1 minute here. Also, I do have the 3-minute in case I needed it, and the daily. The daily could be worth in this case, I think. Oh, I didn't mean to move this one. Because the daily, so we can see how it traded above that high. I'm supposing we're here, 870. Yeah, 870. So as an example, I mean, it has moved quite a lot already, so I could expect a retracement, but if I wanted to trade or look for sell side liquidity, I'd be definitely looking for this low, but that's a bit of a large target. Usually in the daily chart, I like seeing buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, fair value gaps that price could trade into to then basically just go lower or higher. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about this one, in this case at least. So session begins, trades a bit higher for now, not really showing much momentum. I will add another of this at 12:30, which is 8:30, so New York Open. And let's put it there. This is 12:30. Let me put it so I know. So through phase one, we had a little bit of a retracement. Price, well, we had the mitigation of the fair value gap here, so I wouldn't count this as something, but it does mitigate the 15-minute order block that we have here, so it mitigated that. Swept some liquidity from the middle, which we can see a little bit clearer here, these highs. And then aggression lower, that will generate fair value gaps in the 5 mostly. We have one here, an order block here, and a fair value gap here, right? So now on the open, we could see price trading into this, and if we get confluences, we could sell. Or we could see price going all the way up here, taking liquidity from these highs, which are these highs, I believe, and mitigating the 5-minute fair value gap to then continue to go lower. For now, I just want to see what price does on the 5, and we'll see if we get anything. Didn't trade inside the 5-minute fair value gap that we had. Now we have this 15-minute fair value gap that we do have to keep in mind. I think that's the high. It's a bit higher. We'll keep it just in case it trades into that. Okay, so it traded into that. We have a couple of highs that it has swapped. We do have to keep in mind that we have a fair value gap in the 5. So here's the thing. We have a clear bearish trend due to the fact that, well, not due to the fact, but due to all that happened through London and, well, after midnight. So we could be expecting a bearish continuation. What we had through what I call phase 1 is a retracement and then aggression lower. So the bearish trend is definitely still in play. But we also do have to keep in mind that we could see a retracement after a run on sell side liquidity. And now fair value gaps, well, here in the 5-minute. So I don't really like to be in this kind of situation, but what we'll do is consider both as opportunities. We are in a bearish BOI that could cause a bearish continuation, as we are in a bullish, well, we have a bullish BOI that could cause a bullish continuation. So we have bearish and bullish at the time. Put it like this. And okay, so we'll go from the 1 minute to see if we get anything. I don't think it traded inside that. No, it didn't. But we are seeing aggression in the 1 minute. That's a tiny bit of a fair value gap, which could be considered enough. Something that we can also see or do is ticks. So we can play the ticks we're still seeing aggression. As you can see, I'm ignoring per se this fair value gap, this 5-minute bullish fair value gap, because we're really not seeing much going on. Price didn't react at all. So here's the thing. Now, as an example, could be a fuse, the 3-minute, because this candle is likely to close. So let's do that. Okay. Now we have a fair value gap in the 3, as we have fair value gaps in the 1. So the fair value gap in the 3 is 72, the low, which is here, this high, this candle's high. And it's up to what, 748. So this candle high, this candle's high. I'm getting used to this. I'm sorry if I don't remember the low. So I'm sorry if I take too much time with it. To what high, what low? Let's think. I think it's that one. Yeah, 48. It's fine. So that's a fair value gap on the 3 that we could be seeing price trading to, and actually an entry, isn't it? Yeah, this point is an entry. I don't really like selling being this low, but I don't really see much of a choice at this point. So we're selling from 673, 7673, 7673, right? Yeah. Stop loss is going to be all the way up to the high, so 17801. And we'll discuss target later. It's going to be, well, actually at this point we're looking for this low, aren't we? 17373. 17373. Because, well, we don't really have much of a choice. Quite close to that anyways. And sell limit looks like that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now we want to see in the 1 minute, just go slowly with it. That's a trigger. Again, I don't really like selling this low, but we do have enough confluences to do that. And if the trend were to change, we could definitely not pay attention to that, but try and benefit from it. So example, there is a tiny bit of a fair value gap here that we can try and trade from. For now, I don't think I'm going to place more than 1 entry per move. To keep it simple, tiny bit of a fair value gap there. Another one, it almost traded into that. If that would have traded into that, could have been an entry, because we also have this low here, kind of in the middle with it. But as you can see, if we see the 5 minute, it's kind of ranging, which is not ideal, right? It's not ideal at all, because we are ranging after a long move, right? A long move. So I'll keep the risk on. But we also have a 5 minute fair value gap here, so if we do get an entry on that, I'll definitely add one. So traded into it, see aggression, no fair value gap. Now we see a tiny bit of a fair value gap here. That could be an entry. I'm not gonna sell again. I don't like being this low into a move, but it didn't trade into it either. And how much are we at this point? Let me check. That's barely, well, 1.5 is it? Yeah, I can't really do much. What I can do though is modify the stop loss to be at break even, which is a bit aggressive, but honestly we're really low already. So let's move from the 5 to see what it does. Continues lower. We're actually really close to target. So what we'll do, as you can see, we didn't really have a very good risk to reward ratio, and that's because the stop loss was pretty high. I don't remember if it was up here or I just don't remember where it was. I think it was up here. So we have a 1 to a 2 basically, and I'm risking a 1% in it. So what I'll do is close a 75%. That's we're really close to it, and then allow the rest run, and there it is. Lovely. So that's a what? Traits history. It's the close sell, closed by TP. Does it say percentage? No. So you have 57, so this is 360, it's 500, so it's a little bit more than 2%. That's fine. Okay, after this, honestly, I would consider that day done. So now what I tend to do is just go straight to the next day. You can see how price ranges, but it ranges from 230, which is almost 15, which is also 11 a.m., right? 11 a.m. New York. So if we would have traded up to 10, would have been up to this point, which still we would have gotten into the entry, right? But you can see how price actually does move, still move correctly per se, or still shows strength on the move, even though it's past 11. So yeah, I don't know, I've seen it work. So I've just expanded the kill zone per se all the way up to that time. So now we want to go up to what time? Oh, 11. Oh, shoot. My bad. 11. It did go pretty fast, but that's fine. Okay, so 4 a.m. 6, 9, 11, and 15. All right, so midnight open up here, tiny bit of a move higher, sweeps a little bit of liquidity. I hope that you can see the charts well. They are not gonna go blind with this because I am a little bit zoomed out, but basically this is the high of midnight. Trades a bit higher than aggressively lower. We have the exact same scenario, although in this case it did retrace a lot. So the daily candle looks like this. Yeah, so we have swept this low. We could see price going higher and sweeping buys out liquidity. Well, I guess we'll see. Okay. So again, same scenario, right? Not same scenario, but we do exactly the same thing. What am I expecting? Honestly, we could expect a bearish day due to, well, price retracing all the way up to this fair value gap in the 15 that we have here. All right, so it could definitely be going lower from here. But I like to trade from 830 based on everything that happened before that time. So we'll give it some time to do its thing. But you can see here how the 5 had created a fair value gap, traded into that, and basically we can see tiny bit of a sweep here. This could have been a loss. Tiny bit of a sweep here, aggression lower, fair value gap, and that's being respected for now. But all of this is through phase 1, so I wouldn't really be trading this. But the high, which is this, would have been respected. List for now, right? So remember, we're trading on 12:30. 12:30 is the time where New York opens, well, session opens. And we're seeing bearish aggression through phase 1. That's great. Which is somewhat what we were expecting. And now it opened, session opened here, and trading aggressively higher, mitigating a fair value gap in the 15. We have another one up here, which we could see price trading into. So we have a fair value gap. We are already trading inside a fair value gap. We have a 5-minute or the block, 5-minute fair value gap up here that could trade into. We have New York manipulation. So I'm looking for sells, clearly. But I need more price action. Can we look for for buys? Well, we actually have a buy right now, but I think this is not enough. So higher move up, lower, mitigation of a fair value gap, being respected for now. What I mean with we have a buy is that price mitigated this fair value gap, this 5-minute fair value gap. And now we see that the 1-minute create a fair value gap as well. So that could be an entry. For now, I'm going to ignore that. I need to see what happens. Yeah, okay. So I would have been a loss. So we have a tiny bit of a sweep. The 5-minute is, we're mitigating the 5-minute fair value gap. Also the 15, we had a 15-minute fair value gap in here as well. And now we have aggression lower. Let me check the 3-minute. How is it looking right now? We could have the 2-minute as well. I just didn't really want to have that many charts. So we can sell from here. We can sell from here, and I'm gonna do it. So we have a market shift. We have a tiny bit of a sell side liquidity being taken from here, but also from this highs. We're mitigating a phase 1 fair value gap. We're seeing aggression lower. Fair value gaps in 1 minute, and the trend is somewhat in our favor. Although the phase 1 did trade lower, so we could see this as a move against the trend and now a potential bullish continuation, mitigating further this 5-minute order block. Sorry, fair value gap to continue higher. It's a bit complicated. I'm not going to look for buys for now. I'm going to focus on this sell. And let's do that. 4A4 is our entry. With the stop loss up to 563. 563. And target, we'll discuss it later. But what are we talking about? This is slow, right? So that's 17,194. Okay, that'll work for me. 1794, sell limit. That looks fine. Let's see what it does. Triggered, yes. I'm paying attention to the buy side because, as an example, now we are seeing a 1 minute fair value gap, and we're mitigating the fair value gap in the 5. I'm gonna ignore it for now. Give it some time. It mitigated the fair value gap, so I could have been an entry. Fair value gap here, which means that we could even be put in another sell. Of course, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Okay, so we also saw another fair value gap here, and 5 minute hasn't created a fair value gap higher yet. So yeah, okay, that's a fine loss. The trend was a bit difficult today, specifically, or at least for now. What has it traded above? Traded above this high. I don't really want to force sells, but we do have some good confluences to sell, and we could be selling from this point. Let's look at the ticks. It's getting there. I kind of feel like I'm about to force a sell, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I like the odds to the downside. I like the BSL that we've just run above and the BSL that we had here. But this here traded inside a 5 minute fair value gap, very tiny one. But we're gonna be selling anyways. So give me a couple more ticks so we can get into the fair value gap. There it is. So where's our stop loss? 610. And target is going to be the same, so I think I could do this. Yeah, okay. If this fails, this will fail quickly. There's another fair value gap here. There's also a market shifting in the 5 as well, by breaking that low. So it could be seeing another sell from there. Not interested. What time is it? We're still, yeah, we still have a lot of session to go through. Wanna see the buys. Wanna see the buys because we've gone below this low. And if we see a market not a market shift, a fair value gap, we could be trying to buy. But we would need to see that first. This could be another sell. You can see the fair value gap in here. Price trades above that, could go lower. Not interested in adding more positions at the time, so we'll leave that in the table. Okay, so it's starting well. Target is quite low. I'm very happy with this because that's probably what's. So we're risking, let's round that to 50. We're looking for almost 250, so definitely 5R at this point. So we'll alter the target later. Market and pending. Alright, let's do that. Just want to get to slow. So that's yes, I think 1200 will be 5R. Yeah, I think. So it's fine? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's go with the 5 minute candles. a lot of aggression at this point. I'm closing most of my positions, so 75% we'll call it. So I was trading the sells, but as you can see, we did try to well, at least I did try to look for buys up here, right here, because we did swing below and we did see aggression there, so that could have been a buy definitely. And I wasn't really interested on missing out on those opportunities either, you know. Just moved my stop loss to break even, so we were able to see there, but that was definitely a good sell. Okay, so account is 24%, but do keep in mind that I began this video with 17, yeah. I got to 19 with the first trade, or the first day. And then we got this extra, what's extra? So that's $1,100, which in percentage, I have to open the calculator, but that's not gonna check that, fuck it. Let's see if it gets to the lower target. It would have definitely gotten to that. Here is 333. I want to see if we had an entrance a bit above 7333. So it's above this candle. Trades into no fair value gap here. Fair value gap here could have been a loss. Fair value gap here. Maybe an entry in the 3-minute on something like this could have happened, but I don't really. Not really gonna get into detail with that one. Okay, that was great. Let's just go straight to Axon. I don't know how many days I'm gonna do. I honestly backtested a bit this morning. I've also been doing the resume for the week. I do want to record a video for that, but for tomorrow probably. But I came across a video with this and I wanted to try it out, and well, having fun with it, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so 11. Let's do it like this. 4. Yeah, 4 is fine. 4, 6, 9, 11, and 15 for later. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it from here. No, I'm gonna be able. Okay, so. Midnight, London traded lower first, aggression higher. So I want you to look at this because this is not something that just happens through midnight. Let me open a big bank because that's gonna be easier for all of us. Because when we see run above or run below buy side or sell side liquidity, it's lovely to see it repeat itself over and over and over, because we had one low here, another low here, another low here, and lows here. So all of that, in my opinion, is all a big pool of liquidity, let's call it, right? But basically, the lowest point of that is this low, which price aggressively traded below. And what happens immediately after is that we see aggression, market shift in the 15-minute time frame, and a fair value gap. That what does price do? Price trades into that, mitigates it, respects the entire thing, well, not the entire thing, the entire structure. Aggression higher, retracement, aggression higher. Now we're seeing a little bit of a range, which is common between London and New York, in the middle, right? But yeah, for me, honestly, if we saw price through phase one trading lower, getting into this, and then causing something through the opening, right? So through the session opening, I would definitely like to buy from there. So let's see how it goes. Okay, we're inside that 15-minute. Now a 15-minute order block. What time is it? Let's put the 12:30 thing so we know. Let's go from the 5 now. So I'm interested in seeing what happens here. Tiny bit of a retracement, currently mitigating a 15-minute fair value gap here. Getting close to the opening. And we are open. Okay. So here's the thing. We have had a bearish move through phase one that generated fair value gaps to the downside, which, well, actually, we haven't checked. That's why we gotta look to the left. Okay, so we have a lot of highs. Right, let's not kid ourselves. That's a lot of highs together. I hate this. So buy side being taken. So it took sell side, now it took buy side. I guess it's going to go lower, or it could go higher because it triggered the buy stops. Now triggered those stop losses. Now it could go higher again. I'm gonna wait and see what the open does. But I mean, if we get enough confluences to buy or to sell them, I mean, right now I'm with both. I'm gonna wait for the 5 minute to do something for now. Let's look at it from the 1 first, because I do want to see what happens here. See, that's bad. I mean, it's not bad, but it is a good opportunity to sell. And since I don't want to say we've just taken, because it did happen, what, a couple of hours ago. I do think it still makes sense to sell from here. We're gonna do it. Don't really like it. But we have a market shift, we have aggression, we have a 15-minute fair value gap, even a potential 5-minute fair value gap if it gets to that. But entry point is 614, 16,914, 16,914. Stop loss is going to be above this high, which is equal highs, but supposedly it wouldn't matter. 965, 6965. Let me check that's correct, because I'm a bit confused. Okay. And oh, this is a pending, so I want to sell 914, 16,914, 16,914. Okay, so let me check that's correct. Oh, I put the okay, my bad. Target wise, I'm guessing we're looking for this low, so 16,721, 16,721. Does that work? No. Oh, the stop loss, my bad. 965. Because I put the entry at the stop loss, and that's not how it works. Is that fine now? Yeah, okay. We'll see it. I do like the bullish opportunities. 5-minute fair value gap being created there. I like both sides at the same at this time. More inclined with the bearish side due to all that happened through phase 1 and well the buy side liquidity being swept. But currently inside a 5-minute fair value gap, which could mean another entry. We do have a fair value gap here that we could trade. That could be another sell. Okay. Yeah, no, my stop loss is fine. We haven't gotten any bullish fair value gap at the time, so nothing for me to really do at the time. So let's play it from the 5. Huh. So they didn't sweep the high, did it? What's this candle's high? How do I make it so it tells me? Okay. The high is 963 and the high on this candle. Oh god, my anxiety right now. No, it is a bit higher. I just can't really say it to the thing. The history, the trade. So it traded above that. We're having a range at the time, which is not ideal. I could try and get into another entry, a bit risky. I'm gonna give it a try. And otherwise we're going to have to wait for something else, because we're just no. 6892 as an entry. 892. So as you can see, this is the process. This is the entry. 892. Stop loss is to go here, which stop loss is 67,967. There. And target is still the same, which is down here. You can see the number here. 721 was the low. Yeah. So if I press that, that is the entry indeed. Okay. We're triggered. I don't really like this because price is currently ranging, but we'll give it we'll give it an opportunity. There's another opportunity to sell from here. Again, not going to place multiple entries for now. Not really interested in that. I don't tend to place multiple entries on when I'm actually trading either. So, well, I say that, but I do, but I don't do on my match trader. I do on paper trading because it's easy, but on paper trading I just have to calculate 2 risks at the same time, and I'm not really a fan of that. Okay, so the trade has begun quite well. Problem is that stop loss is quite large, and we can't really do much to move it because price could easily move above this high. We can't close partials because we're literally at a 1 to a 1 currently. So I'm just gonna allow it to run. And okay, that's a stop loss. That's truly a shame. Thing is that we didn't really have much to move our stop loss to, right? Didn't have much to move our stop loss to, which is a shame, but it's really not much I can do about that. That's 15. So now went higher, and I'm honestly still very convinced on the sells. Because at this point, look at all of the liquidity that was swept. We don't need to see it from the 1. But from the 15, we basically had a range. Sell side, buy side, now potential bearish move. Only reason why I'm actually going to sell again, but I don't think I want to do it from here. So let's give it some time to see what it does. Didn't really respect the high there. Okay, fair value gap here in the 1 was mitigated and respected. We could be selling from here. And I think I'm gonna do it. My stop loss has to be all the way up here. It doesn't have to, but it's the best thing that I can do. I'm gonna be aggressive here. 952 is going to be my stop loss. And same target for now. Okay. Reason why I'm selling here is this. Fair value gap after another fair value gap. And will this somewhat being respected at the time? But ideally I would like to see a 5-minute fair value gap being created, so we can then go into the lower time frames inside that fair value gap and try to find a bearish opportunity, basically. Another fair value gap, another potential opportunity, just nothing I'm interested on. Below this low, I might be taking partials, but it wouldn't really make that much sense because we do have a 1 to a 2 in our hands here, so it's not that much that we're really after. Can we see something further to the left? It's gonna be too much, if I'm honest. Let me see the daily chart. Here. Oh, we can't go that further. Yeah, okay. That's fine. We'll keep the target there. I don't think I'm gonna close partials, but I will move my stop loss to break even very soon. Let me actually do it from here just in case. And that's target. It might get lower than that. Didn't? No, it didn't. We would have ended up in a break even. So that finished your day with a little bit of a loss, I think. Don't think we can see that, can we? Oh, we can see statistics. Wow. That's cool. Okay. We can get into that later. So this is the trade. It's, well, it is a 2% after all. How much is the account currently? 24. Now it's no longer a 2%. It's a 1%, 1.40. And we took 2 losses. So yeah, we definitely ended in a drawdown that day. Sadly, and mostly due to the stop loss. And I was aggressive at the stop loss because my stop loss could have been, or should have been, better said, all the way up there. So yeah, it would have been a nightmare. It does end up going lower, as somewhat expected. Now, this is a Thursday, and I have a somewhat of a vendetta with Thursdays, because I've seen them trade against the trend, and I hate that. So what I mean with that is that, as an example, this past week from, what is it? From June 25th, sorry, from June 27th, all the way up to Friday 1st, the entire week was bearish except Thursday. You can check your charts and you'll see that that's somewhat right. And I've seen that happen so many times that I just don't really understand why, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll do this just this one day. I guess we could do one more to finish. I don't know if when did we begin. I don't remember if we began at the beginning of the week or something. Nah, we'll probably do just this day. 15. Okay, same deal, but we see the open trading lower, then aggressively higher, swap liquidity, mitigated fair value gap, even mitigated the order block in the 15-minute, last candle, aggression lower, fair value gap, traded, this candle traded inside this fair value gap. I'd be expecting a bearish day, mostly due to this, and you can see this was a very similar move. We could see something different, I guess, due to it during Thursday and just going completely against the trend. That could be something that could happen. We could go to mitigate this fair value gap in the daily chart. Don't really find it that possible because we are quite far. But if it did, well, we'll analyze it anyways. Trade a bit higher, swap liquidity, mitigated fair value gap in the 15. Nothing for now. Let me actually do this. 12:30, so we know when the open happens. It's ranging a lot, sadly. We're at 8:30, are we? Yeah, okay. Let's look at it from the 5. We see aggression lower. We're expecting a very trend, so okay. Let's give it a couple of 1-minute candles. 5-minute generator fair value gap, so I'm gonna trade from there. If it trades into that. 1-minute fair value gap. No, I'm not interested in trading this for now. It would have not triggered me, at least for now. Okay, so currently inside a 5-minute order block, would love to see the fair value gap in play. Getting close. I think it mitigated it. Yeah, okay, so it got inside the fair value gap. Bit of aggression, fair value gap, and I'm going for that. I don't really like it because we still have this liquidity here that was swapped, but it did swap liquidity higher as well. We'll go for it. Stop loss is 373. Sorry, entry is 373. Stop loss is going to be 410. And we'll discuss target later. Yeah, because we don't have anything to use as target. We could go with the with a random number. 16. Wouldn't be that random. We're talking about a 40 pip drop, but it's not really that far. That will be the entry. I'm not very convinced about it. We might create a fair value gap in the 15 the price could trade into, but we are inside a 5-minute fair value gap, so it's not that we're trading with nothing, but yeah, we're too low as well. Now somewhat of equal highs were swapped with this. We'll see if that means anything. Tiny bit of a fair value gap. Let me see the ticks. So traded inside it. Can we buy? We can't buy. We don't have a 5-minute fair value gap to the upside. Still bearish. Currently inside a 5-minute fair value gap. Bearish fair value gap. I'm gonna sell again. Is that the only? We've taken only one trade. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure of that. So this will be market stop loss for 23. And if this fails, then I'm just gonna look for something else because I'd be forcing sells at this point. Okay, yeah. Well, let's get to the 5. Aggression lower, not much. It did mitigate 15-minute. 15-minute. That's a shame because we could have taken this, but let's just give it some time. We did avoid a loss there. What do we need to buy? I think we need a lot more. I've said the Thursdays tend to go against the trend. We're kind of seeing that at the time. A lot of buy-side liquidity swept now due to all of these highs. Let me see the ticks of this. Let's give it a couple more ticks. Aggression lower. I'm very convinced on the sells right now. I want to see it trade above the high of the previous candle, as it is the fair value gap. Let's go to the next bar. A lot of aggression. We could have something in the 3-minute. Reason why I'm going to trade here. Now I'm gonna wait for this. Gonna be a bit greedy. I'm gonna wait for the 1 minute to be mitigated. We also have a 5-minute here. I'm gonna sell from the 5-minute. That's 407. We'll do it at pending, so we don't have to be that all that pending outfit. Stop loss is 527. A little bit of a large stop loss, but it's fine. 527. And I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. Another entry here. This could have been the entry that we would actually be looking for. So let's see the ticks of it. Doesn't really look like it's going to trade into it, at least not for now. We did have another fair value gap. If I'm very convinced, we could place another sell. It has swept a lot of liquidity, but I've taken 2 losses already. Yeah, I think I'm gonna risk it anyways. Where's my stop loss supposed to be? I'm gonna keep the stop loss all the way up here anyways. And market again. Okay. I'm gonna keep the stop loss there because price, yeah, it could just sweep this highest liquidity. Or it could fade entirely. As you can see, we haven't really had any opportunities to buy just yet. It hasn't generated a fair value gaps for us to buy. What time is it? We're still pretty good on timings. So we could still be looking to trade. But my problem now is that I can't really continue to sell at this point. We have had a very messy price action, not gonna lie. No fair value gaps in the 5 yet. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, it's a shame. Thursday, again, I said it tends to go against the trend. In this case, it didn't really do anything. But, well, you can see this is definitely against what we were having as a trend for the week. Oh, it is what it is, you know. A bad day. Nothing we can do about it. We'll see if Thursday pays out. We want to go up to 11. Oh, that's actually 11. That's fine. So 4, 6, 9, 11, and 15. Yeah, we won't be able to do 15 from here. Okay. I don't really like seeing this much aggression, but look at the liquidity has been swept. I'm still expecting a bearish scenario. And didn't we have a fair value gap in the daily? Oh, but it didn't get to trade it. Ah, that's a shame. If it would have traded it, I'd definitely be looking for sells. That's a bit more complicated. I'm still looking for sells, very likely, but yeah, we do need to see what happens through this price action. So let's see. Aggression lower. Fair value gap in the 15 was respected. Let's put the 1230. This is actually 1230. So it opened here, traded aggressively higher so far. Let's look at it from the 1 minute. Swept the high. That could be more than enough for me to sell, and I think it will be. So 413. Let's actually do it with the ticks. Ticks, not thicks. Okay, that's a market for me. 442. We'll talk about target later. A little bit of an aggressive sell, but again, it was more than enough for me to sell. This is even another sell if we desire to. Just a tiny bit of a fair value gap. We'd love to see 5-minute creating this fair value gap here. For now, it is doing it. I think I actually covered it. No, it didn't. There is a 1-minute fair value gap here that even had liquidity. Swept that, continues lower. Targets. Let's talk about targets because I think I'm going for previous day's low, which is this. So it's 264. It's a good risk to reward ratio, I think. Where is trades here? Could I close? How far or how close? We're quite close. Should have closed on partials already, but yeah, we'll do it now. Close 15. And again, we're going to target 259 or 260. We'll call it. It's going to be a bit better. Where's target? It was really low. 260 we set. Yeah, that's fine. It's an extra 2%, we'll call it. We're definitely recovering from yesterday's sells. If we manage to get this take profit. I'll go with the 5. Yeah, we'll go with the 5. Oh, and stop loss will break even. Forgot to do that. I'm not gonna take a loss now. Not much to really trade from for now. I'm actually gonna move my stop loss. Not my stop loss, sorry, my take profit. Because I think due to this range, I think the price could aggressively break lower. So we'll give it a chance to see what it does. We do from the 1 minute in case it actually does do that aggressively. Okay, it has done that. How much do we have running? We have a 2% running, approximately, a little bit less probably than 2%. We'll give it a couple more candles. I don't think I should have done this. Oh, okay. So I shouldn't have really allowed that to happen because I did close barely 50% of the partials here. So I was not that smart, but it did pay out. But again, it was building a lot of liquidity there. But here, it sweeps that and aggressively starts going higher, which could have been more than enough for price to just completely change the direction. So here I'm going to close 75% of what's left. So that leaves me with a little bit less than a 1% running. Of course, stop loss already at break even, although it could be about this high now. Let's just allow it to see if it actually reaches the target we had. Which is a little bit of a, it's honestly not a target, that just a number. Happy with the profits, but if it goes lower than this, now let's close it there. Pretty close to where we were, and close all. Could go for this lowest liquidity, but we are approaching the end of the session. And I don't think it would have actually reached targets. But it definitely would have gone below this low, which again could have been a target for sure. Okay, that's great. See how we had a 5-minute fair value gap here, right? Just traded into that, potentially give us an entry. Let me check that. What are we talking about? This. No fair value gaps in this bearish move. Definitely something here, but not tradable. And this could have been an entry, but going for this low would have not made sense. Yeah, not much to really use for, to really use there. So, ended with 24,800. Wanted to see how much the week began with. So if we are on the 25th, that means that we began at 21st on this week, which is here. So 21st, this is the first balance that we have. That's 23,800, but that's minus this. So that's 23,500 that we had, a little bit less, but let's leave it at 23,500. So the calculator. And to this we have to, okay, that will work anyways. 24,800. That's 1,300 in profits that we've had. So that's at least a 5%, I think. 24,803. That's a 5.25% profit. It's not much, should have been better. I did take a 4% loss on Thursday, which I think is something that I probably should have not done. I did force a lot of sells in that. So yeah, just wanted to do this little bit, just record a bit of it. I'm probably going to continue, but my voice is just no longer working that well. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something from it. I'm sorry if it was too, I don't know, odd or a little bit unpleasing to see. Maybe the charts or something. Just let me know in the commentary if there's something that I can do to make it a bit better. Maybe expand the charts or something. But I do prefer seeing them like this because I see everything that is happening just as I would do if I was actually trading through TradingView in a session, right? So just wanted to say that honestly. So again, everything that was applied here was taught to me by ICT, his free mentorship on YouTube, and I have explained somewhat of what I do, what is phase 1, what is phase 2 on a previous video that I made. And it's just, honestly, phase 1 and phase 2 is just timings. It's just how I call. Phase 1 will be from 7 to 8:30 New York time, and phase 2 will be 8:30 to 9:30, and then phase 3 will be from 9:30 all the way up to 11. And I've already explained what they are, so I'm not gonna redo that again. But again, you want to learn this, it's best you do from ICT. So I just wanted to say that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you took something away from it, and I'll be seeing you on to the next one.